can change your mind.
Yeah.
I just don't agree.
Why don't you agree?
I mean, I personally don't agree, but I agree with you that the perspective is there within society.
Why is this not your perspective?
That's a good question. I wanna answer it correctly. For me.
Sure.
Do you feel that way? Like sincerely?
I might, but I want to hear your objection to this.
I can, of course, I only can argue personally, but
Sure.
every woman I ever met that I was interested in, making babies or just seeing them as pieces of meat, just it wasn't the first thought.
Okay.
I think there's other sides that come to my focus before thinking of babies. Babies, that's like the third, the fourth, the fifth step in the relationship. But
Okay. So
meeting them.
would you agree that there's more to a female than just objectifying her
Of course.
and using her as a resource
Sure.
for
Of course.
your benefit?
I mean, you should. Of course, it can be a resource, but at the same time, what you're taking, you're giving back. I mean, that's the core of a relationship.
Consent and
sure.
respect as an individual?
Sure.
Okay.
Of course.
Can you hold this position to be against this if you support meat, dairy, and eggs, that industry?
Sorry?
Can you be against that if you're paying for forcible impregnation of other females in the dairy industry? This is standard legal practice.
Okay.
So a male gets forcibly ejaculated, then they take the semen and they force it into the female. So they're raping her because they're objectifying her.
Yeah.
9 months later, she gives birth to a baby. What do they do with the baby?
The same. I mean, dependent on what gender, of course.
Right. So if they're male, they'll be murdered right away, or perhaps sent for veal. So not even meat. Sometimes they'll
Just don't need them.
right.
Okay. Yeah.
And then the cycle is even worse for their sisters or her daughters.
That's pretty bad.
So can you disagree with this statement, but then support it with other females?
I mean,
Are you not
I get your point.
Objectifying an individual who values their life,
Yeah, I get your point.
wants bodily autonomy,
Do you know if this is
standard legal
This is standard-
practice? Standard legal practice,
in
yes.
the US? Or
This is from Australia, so this is her baby boys. Do you think there's
that's pretty bad.
a nice way to rape someone, to steal
To
her?
rape? No, of course.
her
But I mean,
babies
the
and
whole
to murder
dairy
them?
industry. I mean, I can't target the whole dairy industry. I mean, this is pretty bad.
This is
common practice.
They even sifted through the footage. You can find so much more
that's just-
egregious, but this is standard legal practice. They get stunned.
Here today. I mean, people are aware of that.
People what?
Are aware
Aware.
this happening
But why is it happening?
because you want to have the cheapest price on your dairy products.
Well, it's not even, it's the cheapest. It is what it is. You can't get around enslaving, objectifying, and causing cruelty to someone because you're just doing it and you're using them as a resource.
Yeah, you're right.
So can you support buying animal products if you're against objectifying other individuals
I mean, I feel
and using them as a resource?
okay. So I just don't want to get just out of here, but I am a vegetarian.
This is the
but
dairy
this is dairy
industry.
I know.
It's
but,
even
but
more
it's,
cruel. It's
yeah,
perpetual rape, perpetual
but you gotta start
kidnapping.
somewhere, right? I mean, you can't
Well-
end animal cruelty just from one day to another.
If I was, let's say, a man, a big, strong man, and I wanted to rape females, take their babies and eat them? Should I start by maybe decreasing it, or maybe only do that? Should I start with maybe only killing Mexican females? Is that okay? Or should I just understand that it's indefensible and not do it at all?
Yeah, as an individual, I can just stop doing it. I totally agree. But
so what do you think is in your way of not abusing animals and living vegan? Not objectifying other individuals?
Yeah, I mean...
Because that's what you support.
Right. Of course you're right.
And after she's been raped multiple times in her life, multiple children have been stolen from her, she goes to a slaughterhouse and has her throat slit so that you could have her breast milk.
Yeah. I mean, I know you can tell I'm not from here, I'm from Germany, and quite from a rural area. So I see the cows, I'm getting the milk from on the farm next to where I live.
So do you think if she was getting her throat slit next to where you live, it would make it okay for her? Do you think this is okay if it's right next to you, right in front of you, right behind you?
That's a different kind of farm, I think, to what you're thinking. Where I'm from, those are little farms. They're like 20 cows on the field.
And they all get their throats slit.
Oh.
What happens to them? They're still being objectified, no? Why are they there?
I mean, of course, they're there to produce milk. That's kind of objectifying, but they're not.
That is exactly
like
objectifying. Yeah. For me as a female, just like any other mammal, we have to be pregnant in order to give breast milk.
Yeah.
So they force that upon them. Yeah. And even if that wasn't the case, genetically modified, the egg the males are useless.
I know that.
How, as you as a vegetarian, support that? The most egregious.
Of course, I don't support that. But
well, you do.
Since like 2 years ago. I mean, it's for me. I know the product I still would like to eat.
Except that if you were being forcibly impregnated.
You're completely right. I don't to say against that. Nothing at all. Nothing that can justify this.
So what do you think is stopping you from not paying for egregious things to happen to vulnerable individuals? More vulnerable than I.
Yeah. Just personal comfort.
Like doing that to other female humans. Yeah. It's more comfortable for a man to do whatever he wants to another female.
Of course it is.
Dude,
of course not.
Should you behave like that?
I'm not objectifying any point you make. That's all.
But as so long as you're vegetarian, this is what you're supporting, and you're going against your own values. So what would you do about justice through this conversation and being presented with the fact?
I can change my behavior. But I'm
obligated to?
Yeah.
Should you hold yourself to those obligations? Right?
Yeah, sure. No one can look at this and have any point of argument. Just not and you know.
They know it as well, because what could you possibly say to them that they would?
Because there's nothing that.
And no matter how good the animals are treated, no matter how good the animals are treated, they're still being exploited. These animals, if I took them out of there and kept them in my care, still exploited them and killed them, it would still be wrong.
Yeah, it is. It's less wrong.
It's still wrong
than slaughtering them.
Right, I could torture them and then kill them, or I could just kill them.
Yeah.
It's wrong no matter what.
Of course it's wrong, but I think one is still more wrong than the other one.
That's not how we view things, right? When we view injustices, we don't say that everything else is the pass except for the most egregious things.
Yeah. Yeah, but there are still like steps.
There's no way of avoiding where the animals that you came from, but even if there was, it's
Yeah,
still wrong.
there's not. I mean, yeah, you're right.
Can I give you a resource to
Yeah, sure.
watch the speech you'll ever hear? And in Germany, there's Anonymous for the Voiceless where you can speak up against this too, because, you know, if this was happening to...
Is this your channel?
No.
Or you just support it? Yeah, thanks.
Thank you for the
Thanks for the talk.
conversation.
Yeah. You too. Have
Yeah, you too. Bye.